Your beliefs are your destiny. Where does a belief come from? Our beliefs come from thoughts that we had mainly when we were younger, and we decided to believe in those thoughts. So, for example, I believe I wasn't successful, right? So that thought that I had then became a belief. And a belief is only a thought that you decided to be true, and you decided to live your life by that. What happens is, in the world of manifestation, many of these beliefs that we have and had about ourselves are not true, and they're limiting us and our potential to be able to manifest the type of life that we want. So if a belief is a thought that I decided to be true, what happens is that I start having thoughts based on that belief. I cannot have thoughts based on a different belief. So if, for example, I have a belief that I'm not successful, I cannot act because I cannot feel, because I cannot think in another way that is different to the way that I believe myself to be. So to break that up easier, the beliefs that I think true about myself become the way that I can think. I cannot think outside of my beliefs because that's on top, right? So you've got your thoughts. If I believe I'm not successful, my thoughts, will be in correlation to that belief. So I'm unsuccessful. This is the way I think. That then becomes the way that I feel. So I feel unsuccessful. So I cannot act like a successful person because I'm not thinking that I'm a successful person, because on top of that, I was not believing that I was a successful person. Then what happens is that because I'm feeling that way, I'm acting that way. That becomes my reality, my personality, my personal reality, right? Then what happens is, because I'm feeling that way and acting that way, I reinforce to reality that I am that way because I'm acting that way out into the world. So the way I act becomes my past. That becomes who I am, right? And I just keep reinforcing the idea that I am unsuccessful because it does all of those phases that I explained to you before. So the only way that we can change all of this, right, to actually manifest who we want to become or what we want, we have to change our beliefs. We have to change how we think about ourselves, right? That is where the magic happens, those beliefs. So we have to tap into them. We have to tap into those subconscious beliefs that are wreaking havoc on how we are acting and feeling into our life. One of the most powerful ways to change our limiting beliefs is to prove to ourselves that that limiting belief is no longer true. I don't know if one of the most powerful ways to change a limiting belief is to prove it that it's wrong. So, have you ever in your life got into a situation where you could not trust anyone anymore and you decided, I don't trust people, right? So that became your belief. I can't trust people, which became the thoughts that you would have. I can't trust people in general because that one person wronged me. That was a belief that I created, that I can't trust people. So now I'm going around thinking I can't trust people. So that became my thought plan. That became the way I feel. And that becomes the way I act. But after a while, you started to decide, okay, I think I can start trusting people again. Not everyone's bad, right? So what happened is you challenged an old belief. You said, look, I'm going to start trusting a little bit. And then you started to see that you can kind of trust people again. And it's okay and it's not as bad and it was just a one-off experience. So you challenged an old belief by rewriting it with a new one. So that is one of the most profound ways that we can change a limiting belief that's stopping us from doing what we want to do or being who we want to do. For in the sense of saying, for example, I want to be successful, right? If you don't think you're successful, you have to challenge that belief by proving to yourself that in many situations you are successful, that you have been successful, that you can be successful, right? So then you can start rewriting those limiting beliefs.